Hi, my name is Lydia Jung. In this video, we will talk about naturalization through military service. If you're currently in the U.S. Armed Forces or have completed your service and aspire to become a U.S. citizen, there are specific provisions within the Immigration and Nationality Act, also called INA, that might make you eligible for applying for a naturalization. Let's discuss the criteria. You must be a lawful permanent resident, aka a green card holder, at the time of applying for naturalization. You need to currently serve or have rendered honorable service in the U.S. Armed Forces for a minimum of 1 year, unless an early discharge occurred due to a service-related disability. The 1-year requirement does not have to be consecutive, but can be a total of several periods served. Honorable service refers to service in the U.S. Armed Forces, officially designated as honorable by the Executive Department overseeing your military duty. You must be at least 18 years old. If you currently serve in the U.S. Armed Forces or are applying for naturalization within 6 months of an honorable discharge, you are exempt from the residence and physical presence requirements for naturalization. If you submit your application 6 months or more after separating from the U.S. Armed Forces, you should have maintained continuous residence in the U.S. for a minimum of 5 years. Furthermore, you must have been physically present in the U.S. for at least 30 months within the 5 years immediately before filing the application. Nevertheless, any honorable service performed within the 5 years leading up to the application filing date will be taken into account when evaluating both residence and physical presence in the U.S. And of course, the duration during which you have lived outside the U.S. due to official military orders does not interrupt your continuous residence. USCIS will regard this time abroad as equivalent to time spent within the U.S. You're required to exhibit proficiency in English, encompassing reading, writing, and speaking. You must also demonstrate knowledge in the U.S. history and government, and you must exhibit good moral character spanning a period of at least 5 years preceding the application. However, there are exceptions to some of these requirements I've mentioned above. If you have served during a period of hostility, which USCIS website lists different periods of hostilities, then in this case, there are some differences. You must have served honorably during a designated period of hostility. And again, on the USCIS website, there are lists several different dates. The current one starting September 11th, 2011 to the present. You may be of any age, so the 18-year-old and above requirement does not apply here. You must be a legal permanent resident, or have been physically present at the time of enlistment, re-enlistment, or extension of service or induction into the U.S. Armed Forces. And that has to be in the U.S., the Canal Zone, American Samoa, or Swains Island, or on board a public vessel owned or operated by the U.S. for non-commercial service. If you serve during multiple periods, you must demonstrate at least one qualifying period of service. You must be able to read, write, and speak basic English. You must demonstrate knowledge of U.S. history and government. You must demonstrate good moral character for at least 1 year prior to filing the application, and you are exempt from the general naturalization requirements for continuous residence and physical presence. If you're eligible to apply for naturalization for military service, here's what you need to know about the filing requirements. First, you must complete and submit Form N-400, which is the application for naturalization. Second, you do not need to pay the filing fee for the application or for biometrics. Third, if you're currently serving, you must also submit Form N-426, which confirms that you are serving honorably in an active duty status. And fourth, if you have been separated or discharged from the military, you're required to provide a photocopy of your certificate of release or discharge from active duty, or National Guard report of separation and record of service, or any other official discharge document covering all periods of service. Lastly, you must take an oath of allegiance, making several promises of loyalty to the U.S. In summary, we delved into the eligibility criteria for naturalization through military service and navigated through the application process. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful.